Hey everybody, happy May 4th. This is Westminster Weekend Wake Up. I'm Andy Southgate, the resident life facilitator right here at Westminster Palms.
And I'm Colin Bolger. I'm the fitness assistant here at Westminster Palms.
May 4th is a special day. May the 4th be with you. Colin, tell us why May 4th is a special day.
This is a day that we celebrate Star Wars.
It's the Star Wars Day.
If you were watching the TV, I think on Sunday, I can't remember which day we had the documentary, but I think it was Saturday actually, this weekend, we had a documentary about the making of Star Wars. So that was in the May the 4th spirit.
Whether you like it or not, Star Wars changed the world.
Wow, yes.
So are you a Star Wars fan?
I'm not a Star Wars fan, but when you ask that, the people who are Star Wars fans, I think they would be offended if I said I was a fan.
Probably.
You see what I'm saying? I enjoy it, but I can't claim to be one of those.
I'd like to know if any of our residents are Star Wars fans, because this was the generation after our residents. It was a generation between you and me and the residents. That generation was really the Star Wars generation.
Yeah.
I bet our residents have children that were really into Star Wars.
Yeah.
That would be my guess. I wasn't into it either. I was raised in a very conservative household, and we didn't play with wizards and magic and things along those lines. The Force.
Yeah.
Right. So I was able to find other ways to amuse myself. But I have a healthy respect for Star Wars. I like the creativity and the ingenuity of it in the 70s and the special effects.
Yeah.
And the story. It's a great story. It really is. Those first three are really a great story.
Yeah. And I saw the most recent one that came out in December, and I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I don't have expectations like a crazy Star Wars fan, but I thought it was a pretty good. There's still some things you could pick.
Do you know how many Star Wars movies are out now?
Well, there's the 9 that are part of the canon, and then I think there are 2 that are extra stories. So I think there's 11 total.
Wow, that is a cash cow for Disney right now.
Yeah, exactly. So just keep it coming. And then they have the whole Star Wars lands now that they built at Disneyland and Disney World. They both have their own rides, and just like the Harry Potter world at Universal, they built entire worlds for it. And I think, I'm not sure, but I think even at Disney World, they have their own Star Wars hotel that goes with the land, even though you can't go to Disney World right now. But yeah.
So we have a resident here that was talking to me about her last time she went to Disney World. So my wife and I are annual pass holders, and we go to Disney World all the time. I've been to Star Wars Land. It's incredible, even though I'm not a Star Wars fan. It's a really, really cool place, and the rides are awesome.
Awesome.
And the resident said to me, she said, I quit going to Disney World because it was too expensive. And I said, well, how much did you pay last time you went? She said, $20.
Oh, my. Oh, my. That's like a side salad.
$20 was too expensive for her to go to Disney World. That shows you the difference in the generations right there. Colin, do you know how much it costs to go to Disney World now?
1 day pass is probably $140.
It's around that. You can get them as cheap as $100. I think the Magic Kingdom is about $110, $115, maybe $120 now.
Yeah.
So $120 for 1 day.
Yeah.
And she didn't want to go because it was $20 a day. But you're right, that would barely get you a salad at Disney World now.
Yeah. Yeah. I was born in Los Angeles, and we were minutes from Disneyland. So until the time I was 7, my dad would pick me up at his lunch break, and we would go to Disneyland just for lunch and then come back home. So that was obviously well before those prices, well before the busyness of it. We could pull right into the parking lot and get out, and we could walk. Many days we walked from the parking lot right to the door. They don't have that option anymore. You have to take the tram, at Disney World or Disneyland. But I grew up there essentially, like as a little kid. So I love that. Disney to me is just special because I feel that part of it. I don't even have to ride the rides. I can just sit on Main Street all day long and be happy.
I think that nostalgic is what makes Disney special.
Yeah.
Because it was the happiest place on earth for many, many people, and it carries through to adulthood, much as the same way sports does for me. The sports, I remember watching it with my family when I was little, and I still get that feeling of watching sports. So nostalgia is a powerful tool.
Yeah, I was craving sports so bad this weekend. that I tried to watch Game 7 between Kobe and Paul Pierce. I just couldn't watch it because I was like, I already know what happens. So I wanted something so bad. I was just like, I can't even do this. I can't.
You can't replicate the drama
No.
of live sports.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the latest update I've heard from ESPN is that Adam Silver is still telling the teams that they're going to figure out a way to get the rest of the season in playoffs at least.
Adam Silver is the commissioner of the NBA, and the NBA is one of those sports that might be back. Baseball is the same way. They're looking at restructuring the divisions and the leagues so that teams can play with less travel. And they're looking at even doing a spring break type of league here in Florida where it's not open to the public, but they play a series of games to warm up. Should be interesting.
Yeah, I hope we can figure it out.
The world is reopening.
A little bit, yeah.
Slowly, a little bit at a time. But here at Westminster, we're going to stay conservative. We're going to let the rest of the world open.
They'll be the test puppets.
Let them figure it out. We're going to stay strong here
safe.
And protect everybody here on campus as much as we can. We'll be the last ones to open, which is good. We don't want COVID-19 to get inside of our buildings, inside of our campus. It's very dangerous for our population. So we'll let the rest of the world, states like Georgia and Texas, who opened last week, we're going to wait and see what their data looks like. So restaurants are opening today in St. Pete to 25% capacity. So we'll know in a couple weeks what that looks like.
Absolutely. So yeah, as long as we take it slow, hopefully everything will be all right. How was the rest of your weekend after we're done with the Star Wars Disney talk?
My weekend was good. I did the same thing we always do. My wife and I spent a lot of time outside. Got in the pool this weekend. Still pretty chilly. It was 82 degrees in the pool. And so it was only about 85 degrees outside. So a little chilly, but if you go for a run first, you spend some time outside, it's nice. We did some social distancing, socializing. We rode our bikes to the park. We try to do that every weekend. We always try to go for a run and go for a bike ride. We went to Lansing Park, which is just below, it's on Old Southeast, just below us on the south side. Mm-hmm. Beautiful park, long, skinny park, right on the water. Have you been there?
Yeah, nice homes on the water there too that are interesting. And it's a good little park.
So that's 4.5 miles from home for my wife and I. So we rode our bikes there on Sunday, and we saw some friends there. And, we waved at them from a safe distance, and we sat in the park and chatted with them with our masks, and we had a good time. And the weather is just gorgeous right now.
Absolutely.
March, April, and May in Florida, fantastic weather.
Yes.
So that was good. And then we watched a movie in the driveway Saturday night, same as we always do. This weekend, we watched Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, one of the best movies ever. And Robin Williams' ability to transform himself in so many different ways, it's just amazing.
I had never seen the movie.
You've never seen it?
Nope.
I'd say that was like one of my favorite movies as a kid that I watched multiple times. We had it on VHS.
So Colin's a little younger than I am.
Yeah.
And so it came out when he was a kid.
7, maybe. Yeah.
It came out when I was a little older. So I don't know why I didn't watch it. I just never saw it. It was a funny movie. I liked it.
Yeah, I could see where it wouldn't be appropriate for a high schooler, but junior high, wherever around that age.
The neighbors loved it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a very funny movie. Robin Williams at his best, and you're right. The impressions and the accents that he does.
Amazing.
He does the little old English lady through the whole movie, and he's pretty good at it.
Mm-hmm. He's amazing.
What did you do this weekend, Colin?
So I mentioned we tried to watch a sports, but we ended up watching home improvement shows. Chelsea and I have been watching a lot. We have so much time. We redid the baby's room, and we have a baby coming June 1st, Phoenix. We redid her room, so there's no carpet in there. We put down new floors, and we finished that all this weekend. So now we're watching home improvement shows to do more stuff to our home. So that's fun. Oliver and I played a ton of football. We walked all the way around the neighborhood just throwing the football, and we started. Oliver and I started playing a video game that I've actually played since I was 12 years old. So it's, again, the nostalgia coming back, but we can play together and sit next to each other. And it was a pretty decent weekend.
What type of game?
It's like a medieval times game. So you have knights and you know, some wizards and characters, things that wouldn't be allowed in your household now. But yeah, I mean, my uncle was extremely into Dungeons and Dragons, so he had the Magic the Gathering game, and it's kind of like that, but on a video game scale.
So it's a quest.
It's a quest game, yeah, absolutely. So Oliver and I, you know, defeated some dragons, stuff like that.
Now, but this game is older, right?
It's really old, yeah.
So Oliver, who's used to the newest and best technology, how does he do playing an old video game? Does he like it?
He loved it. Yeah, he said it was his favorite video game. So see, here's the weird thing. We went past this. There was a time right around 2010 where graphics were super important, right? The new Call of Duty was coming out. The new video games, graphics were super important. The new kids now, if you see what they're playing Minecraft and they're playing Roblox. And these are blocky, old style games. They're not three-dimensional. They're open platforms, so they allow the users to be the creators as well, but they don't worry about the graphics. So Oliver's not a graphics kid. He doesn't worry about that. It's all about gameplay. So the graphics are that for the time they were some of the best they were. So they're still good enough for him. But the gameplay for me, my brother, he makes video games for a living, and we both say that Diablo 2, the way that it's structured, there's a lot of math that goes into gameplay. You have to know the functionality of all the different abilities, the quests. Everything has to take the right amount of time. Something can't take too long. If it's too long, then people won't play it. They can't take too short.
Oh, I see.
You see what I'm saying? The quest,
the math and the designing of the way the game
designing
plays.
of the game and the average user, how long it takes. These are the things that video gamers do behind the scenes to make sure. It's called weighting your game. And so my brother and I talk about this all the time. He says that The Legend of Zelda is consistently the highest rated game every single year that it comes out in Game Designer. And he said, beyond just the storytelling and all of that, it has a weight to it that the way you play it, it flows seamlessly like life does. And that's similar to the game that I'm playing now with Oliver.
Right, because if it's too hard, the user gives up.
Yep.
But it has to be hard enough to make it fun, and there has to be a learning curve.
Yep.
And you have to find that bell curve to keep the kids engaged.
Yep.
I say kids, but it's 2020. Adults play video games now as well.
You're looking at one.
I think the movie industry did the same thing the video game industry did, in that at some point it was way more important to have better effects and graphics, and that was what we considered a good video game or a good movie.
Yep.
And then once that technology became so realistic, you couldn't tell the difference.
Exactly.
Then the actual the playing of the game and the story of the movie became more important again.
Yep.
Because you're right, there was a time where people played those games or watched movies just for effects.
When Avatar, like when it first came out, you were just like, ah!
Right,
you know,
the story made no difference in
Exactly.
Avatar.
Yep.
I do remember it was 7.5 hours long, though.
Yeah, it was approximate.
Yeah. Did you do anything else fun this weekend?
I did. No, I don't think so.
We did the same thing you did. We sat at home, we relaxed, we try to eat well, you try to exercise as much as you can, and you try to enjoy your time with your friends and family when you get it. You video chat. Did you video chat with anybody over the weekend?
No video chat. No. I asked videos from some of my players. I have a basketball team outside of here, and I'm making highlight clip tapes for my players. So I asked for some videos. I have a bunch of video of the players. We have a bunch of game film. But the problem is they're 60-minute game film, and I have to go through and cut. And it's like the time it takes for me to cut them all out. If I just email the parents or text the parents, hey, do you have just some clips of your kids? Send them to me. And then I make a highlight clip for them. Just something that I'm doing just, for those kids to keep them engaged. And I get to throw it on our social media, and it makes people happy to see our players, playing. So I'm doing that extra. That's just an extra thing.
Speaking of social media, you can find our video YouTube Gold and the Westminster Palms TV icon in My W Life. Did you enjoy making the video?
I loved it. I mean, first just sitting there watching the videos was hilarious. I think that if you haven't seen it, there's a reason it's called YouTube Gold. You have to see this presentation that Andy and I put together.
It's the best of the best in YouTube. And again, you can find it in the Palms TV icon. We had a ton of people watch it, and we have shared it with all of Westminster communities of Florida. And so our residents are watching it all across the state. YouTube Gold, you can find it on YouTube as well. Best of the best, you can't miss it. And then, we had a huge turnout for Tai Chi on Saturday morning.
Great.
We had 24 residents that tuned in on Zoom and did Tai Chi with Tony from their homes. So if you're still not on Zoom, you got to figure out how to do that. Google it. You can figure it out. Go to zoom.com and you can look on the calendar, and that has the meeting number for Tai Chi on Saturday mornings.
That sounds great. Absolutely. I think that it's a great option. We have more than just Tony doing Zoom, and the rest of the world's doing Zoom. So at some point, you're going to get invited to something via Zoom. It's a good thing to learn. Yep.
So, Colin, what's going on this week? What do we need to know this week here at Westminster Homes?
So we have a lot of stuff going on. The thing that I'm most excited about, and we're going to push this a lot, is on Thursday, we've added a new reoccurring video, to all of our other videos, and it's going to be called Team Member Tales. So what I'm doing is I'm going around the campus, and I am giving out a question of the day, a question of the week, rather, to the employees, our Westminster team members, and just seeing what their response is. So the theme this week, we're going to start with a fitness theme. How are you staying fit during the stay-at-home order right now? And for all of our team members, seeing what they say. And then I will put that into a video. There'll be some video, there'll be some audio, there'll be some special effects, and it'll be something you can watch Thursdays at 6 o'clock.
So how are you staying fit in quarantine?
So I do the same body weight exercise work routine every day. So that's 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, 100 squats, and 100 hamstring press. I do that every day regardless. And then I just started running a mile again. So I used to run a lot more because I would leave here and go work out with all my clients. Some of my clients I did interval trainings with, all kinds of things. I have stopped running since the stay-at-home order and the no fitness center order. So I started that again this weekend, and Oliver ran with me, and it is the first time that he was able to finish running a mile without having to take a break. So he just turned 9 years old. That's a pretty big accomplishment for him.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that is fantastic. I'm doing exactly two things to stay fit. One, I'm eating out way less, and two, I'm drinking way less alcohol.
Awesome. That's great.
And those two things alone have made me more fit. Another thing going on this week is on Tuesday at 3 o'clock. This is cannot miss. You have to be there, right there live on channel 732, or you can watch it on YouTube live as well if you follow the links on MyWLife. You do not want to miss Open Forum. Tuesday afternoon at 3 o'clock, you'll hear from all of the directors. Myself and Colin will be there. Our new executive director, Dominica Wayman, will be there. This is all of the great information right here in one place for you. And Colin, last month when we did this, the residents consistently told me this was the best open forum they'd ever been to.
That's great.
High level, fast, to the point, and no ridiculous questions.
Yeah.
I think the questions are being asked. It was just people yelling at their TV.
Absolutely.
But at open forum, it went pretty fast. And of course, you can always get your questions answered by finding the directors, and they're always happy to help you. So that's Open Forum, Tuesday, 3 o'clock p.m. this week. That's tomorrow. Don't miss it. What else is going on, Colin?
So in addition to our brand new team member tales that we'll do on Thursdays, we will still have a brand new Cooking Chronicles on Wednesdays at 6. And this week we're going to do tacos. Okay. So there's a couple other things that I add in there that are a little bit different and special. So it's fun. I had to be creative because we made the tacos homemade. So you have to. I have never actually made them into taco form. I've fried before into chips, but I had never actually tried to make them into taco.
You're talking about the tortilla.
The tortilla, yes. So I had never actually made it into a round taco. I'd only made it into chips and made nachos out of it. Or
right,
whatever.
Chips are easy. You chop them up, you got triangles.
But make it into that, and get it to hold. It's I came up with a creative solution.
Okay.
So stay tuned for that.
Corona Cooking Chronicles with Colin.
Yep. And Oliver's there too, for sure. And then Friday, my PowerPoint presentation I've been converting to video. We've been doing those every week. This week we're going to go all the way back to the very first one that I ever did. So I know many of you didn't come and see that one because I remember the attendance. So the habitual getaway, and we're just basically talking about getting away from bad habits, getting into new habits, and some of the different ways in which you can make your exercise most efficient, and it's appropriate for all populations. So those are the two videos that we're going to be coming up with this week.
And so if the residents want to watch the previous ones that they missed from Fridays before, where do they find those?
So those are on My W Life, and they are under the Palms TV, and then there's a subfolder that says Colin's presentations. So you can look at any of those presentations. I think there's 5 of those. The same thing, there's a subfolder for the Cooking Chronicles, and there's 5 episodes of those. You can look at those at any point.
That's exactly what we want from you in quarantine. We want you to go into My W Life and watch all of those videos. There's so much information for you. And there's so much information, it is overloading My W Life. He just mentioned that the Palms TV icon has subfolders because there's just so much stuff in there.
Yeah.
And you got to get in there and you got to watch it. His presentations on Fridays at 10:30 are incredible. They are really, really chock full of great information.
Yep.
So thanks for putting all that together, Colin.
Thank you. I'm doing the best I can, and I feel like I'm learning a lot, so it's good.
It's good. Also coming up this week, we have our big sidewalk chalk project. This is going to be really exciting. It's going to start on Wednesday, and you'll be able to get sidewalk chalk from Resident Services, and you will be able to decorate sidewalks around campus. We have some of our artists. They'll be going through and outlining pictures on the sidewalk. So if you just want to color in a picture, you can do that. Or if you have trouble getting down on your hands and knees, which some of you do, we have sidewalk that has been affixed to canes, sidewalk chalk affixed to canes.
Great.
So you can take a cane and put it on the sidewalk, and you can write your name on the sidewalk. So even if you can't bend over, you can still write your name on the sidewalk, and you can definitely walk around campus and check out all the art. And you got to get out there early so that you can watch our artists creating the sidewalk chalk, because that art is awesome, and it's fun to watch art being created. We have some great residents on campus, like Dave Duman, that will be creating great pictures and murals for us. So you got to walk around and see it. It's a great cause. We're going to beautify the campus. We are going to have a creative outlet, and you're going to get exercise by walking around all the sidewalks outside to check out all the beautiful sidewalk chalk. So this is going to be starting on Wednesday of this week, and then continuing until it rains. So people say, well, when does this project end? It ends when it rains.
It could end Wednesday, but it could also end next Wednesday.
And we're in the middle of a drought, actually. I just got a notice from Pinellas County telling me I can't water my grass when I like to. I can only do it at certain times. So this is a great time to have Sidewalk Chalk Festival, because I think the sidewalk chalk will stay down a long time. I have 150 pieces of sidewalk chalk. Wow. And I'm hoping to use it all. We have First Presbyterian Church. They're going to be decorating the sidewalks on the south side of campus. And then we have Old Northeast. They're going to be decorating the sidewalks on the west side of campus. And so we have people from the community coming as well, and they'll be writing you special messages. So again, this starts Wednesday. Come and find me, get some sidewalk chalk, and color. What else is going on this week?
So the only other thing that I have is Mother's Day, right? Excited about Mother's Day. So I'm going to be putting out some information about the importance of family and fitness for Mother's Day. So talk about the reasons why you want to be engaged with your family about fitness, and some resources as to how to do that.
Speaking of Mother's Day, we're having a Mother's Day parade right here on campus.
Oh, wow.
And this is a little tricky. This is a parade of friends and family for you. So residents, you stay inside and you watch it from a window or from a patio or a balcony, depending where you live.
Yep.
And the friends and family want to come to our campus to Mother's Day to celebrate all the mothers. They're meeting at the North Shore Park parking lot at 10:45 a.m. And then they're going to do 2 big figure-8 loops on our sidewalks on campus.
Great.
So they are going to stay on the sidewalks. They're going to have signs, cowbells, megaphones. They're cheering for the mothers.
Awesome.
Parading around. And we are going to stay inside, social distance, and we're going to appreciate them from a distance. Remember, we still are on quarantine, so we want to protect everybody on campus. But I tell you what, the families have been contacting me for the last 2 weeks and said, we want to do something special for Mother.
great.
And we had a family that was going to come to campus anyway. They already had their signs made. They were going to yell at their mother's window, and they said, we want to do it for everybody.
That's
so
great.
Now we have a group of families that have gotten together, and they're going to come and do it on their own.
Wow.
So if you would like to invite your families to join, you need to tell them to meet at the North Shore parking lot at 10:45 Sunday morning, 10:45 Sunday morning, and then at 11 o'clock, the parade will start. We have a family who's in charge of the parade route and social distancing. The parade's all going to be 6 feet apart, families together, individuals 6 feet apart, and they're just going to be yelling and screaming. This does include the health center families and assisted living families as well.
Wow.
So it's going to be a great time. Just soak it up. This is for you. You don't need to come outside. You don't need to join the parade. This is specifically for our residents. This is friends and family showing appreciation for you. So hang out inside, find a window, press your face right up against the glass, and enjoy that parade. Colin, anything else going on that we need to know of?
I think that's all for me.
I think that's well. Yeah, thank you all for joining us. We do appreciate it. This can be shown on replay on the Palms TV icon. You got to get on MyWLife, www.mywlife.org. Colin, can you believe there's still some people that aren't on MyWLife?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's one of the best places you can go.
If you don't have a smartphone and you don't have internet, I get it. But we have residents that have both those things that are still not on MyWLife, and they're missing out on all of these great resources that are available to them in all of the icons. There's so many icons and so many great things. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.